So my full name is Aaron Wang. I'm 13 years old. I'm from China, but now we're living in Canada. Before Adonis School, I've never really had a strong, stable, masculine father that allowed my mother to be truly feminine, so I can learn from the dynamics and like learn from my father. Therefore, in a way, because we've been moving around a lot, my mom kind of has to take the role of a father figure. And although I didn't struggle to make friends or just talk to a bunch of people, I never had a deep emotional connection with any of them. Like, we never went to events, we never went to really hang out. It was just in the class, we talked sometimes. And I thought I did, but I didn't have much confidence or social skills at the time. And that definitely wasn't appealing to anybody, like friends or girls. But after I joined Adonis School, the community really helped me stay accountable and stay true to myself. I got a lot of value from that, and it really helped me push myself to the limits because before then, again, I thought I was, but I wasn't really disciplined. If I go to the gym and I like lift weights before true muscular failure, where I'm literally grunting with a triple chin, I just stop. I just drop the weight and that's it. So I made progress, but I wasted a lot of time doing that.
Perfect.
Here, I learned to push my limits in a lot of areas. Like I started running and I lift weights harder than I ever did before.
Brilliant. You mentioned that your father wasn't like a strong masculine figure, right? So when you were growing up, what impact did that have on you? Your personality, your attitude towards life?
I think growing up, because we moved away, like my parents separated when I was still very young at like 5, it just had an impact on my like psychology, on my dynamic of the world and how like the role of a mother and the role of a father. Personality wise, it definitely had something to do with me being a boy because I was kind of like pretty feminine growing up, and every single small thing I would cry on, and like I was afraid of getting hurt. I was afraid of going to adventure.
Yeah, that makes sense. And when you joined Adonis School, was there something specific in particular that really resonated with you, that helped you become this strong masculine man, or at least on the road to becoming one that you always probably wished your father was?
So in the community calls section, I got to talk with a lot of people that are in my situation and that we can relate to. We can give each other advice, but also our coaching calls have been really valuable to just social skills, dealing with people, how they're supposed to react, because that really gives you a heads up in whenever you talk to anybody.
And what type of things did you implement then after being on these community and coaching calls? What changes did you make to your life?
So especially with the calls with you, Danish, I made a lot of changes to focus towards my goals more, learned a lot about purpose and to stay true to myself, always push myself. And I feel like I've really deepened my masculinity doing that and just really like myself as a person a lot more, you know.
Brilliant. And you know when you mentioned like your gym at the start, so in my masculinity calls, I've spoken quite a lot about like my program and the type of programs that I like. And one thing I tell people is like your mindset, conditioning your mindset is equally as important as the physical exertion that you do, in the gym and when you go running. So now that you have developed a strong mindset, do you feel like it's actually having a really positive impact in your gym? Because I remember when you commented, I mentioned like you can now run insane distances and your gym progress has exploded. So talk me through those two aspects.
Yeah, so about a month before I joined Adonis School, still early summer, I hit a bench press plateau and it was really bad because I was working towards it. I had everything planned out for the year. Okay, so like get stronger 5 pounds per month, and then you get this much by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So that was really demotivating, and I wasn't pushing myself hard either way. I was starting to run, but I just ran for like 5 minutes, and it'd be so painful, like I couldn't breathe.
Mm.
When I joined Adonis School, I started out at the bottom. So I talked to a lot of guys, did running, I asked for advice. I was doing my first half marathon at the time, so I was asking some guy, "Hey, do you have any advice for me to run my first half marathon?" He's just like, "Nope, I just ran it. Like I didn't do anything. I didn't prepare. I just ran it." So I'm like, "What?" I did so many runs, and this guy's just beating me by so far.
Yeah.
And now I've I've slowly climbed up, but now I'm more on the upper end of running distances.
Mm.
My longest run has been 50 kilometers, which was insane
That
compared
is
to when I
insane.
started.
That's
But
absolutely
also,
incredible.
yeah, but also with my gym stuff, I really just pushed myself more and more, which, then translated to my personality, my confidence, and how I act towards people in school, in public, to strangers.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna share my screen. These are the pictures that you've just sent me. Talk me through them, and I'll cycle. I'll cycle while you talk. So when were these
Yeah.
taken?
So these were taken last year around October when I
Hmm.
started lifting. So a bunch of people online, like YouTube videos and stuff, they all told me to like to take pictures and store progress.
Hmm.
So I did. I didn't know how to take like good pictures at the time. So I was just starting experimenting, especially when I had to hold my phone.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
That's
that was the
insane.
beginning.
Like you literally look like a toddler in these two, and you can
Yeah.
tell just the change in your frame and your musculature. Like look at your arms, look at your forearm and your chest as well. That's incredible. Look at your traps. How did it feel going through this like quite a significant physical transformation? What was everyone else's reaction like? Like kids in school, your friends, girls in class? Did they start like noticing this like explosion in yourself? Like you're literally becoming a man.
Yeah. So first off, I noticed a lot with my strength and with my family.
Mm.
And the number one thing that people started to notice was my personality, how much more confident I got,
Yeah.
how I started to act, how I talked about my life, gym, lifting weights. And when I talked to my friends about that, they're pretty impressed. They're like, "Bro, how do you get the motivation to do that?" And girls, they're kind of subtly mentioning that, like, I'm going somewhere,
Yeah.
that in the future I'm gonna be like jacked. So this one person, she's like, if you keep doing, hey, Aaron, if you keep doing this up, by the time you go to high school, you're gonna dominate the weight classes
Oh,
and like
definitely.
all these other guys. Because still, right now in my class, there's a lot of guys who are like chubby, but also some guys who are very skinny. When they wear the shirts, it
Mm.
it you see the shadow under the shirt sleeve, right?
Yeah.
So they're all on the side of extremes. But now that I've gained like over 12 pounds of muscle since the beginning, a lot has changed about my personality, my confidence. Just the biggest thing that like the gym does to you,
Yeah.
like how you flex in every mirror and just how you talk about it to people,
Yeah.
but also my size and confidence. But there's just some guys who are naturally tall and muscular, so
Yeah, that's what I was talking to you before, wasn't I? Because your journey is a little bit different. Most guys will start from like, being like a 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10, 5 out of 10 in everything, in every aspect of life. And then they go on in their journey and they go become a 6, 7, 8. You've literally started from like being a 0 or a 1 because you started puberty a lot later than everyone else in like your social circle. So it's like you were living life on hard mode. And now that you've taken charge of your life, now that you've actually got a very defined purpose, it's like you're now allowing your body to become this lethal animal that it's supposed to be, and your progress in such a short amount of time is incredible. Like it's one of the best I've seen. especially like your frame, like the width of your shoulders. You're literally becoming strong, not just muscularly, but in your skeletal structure. One thing I always tell young men when it comes to attracting women is there's a reason why women or girls in high school, they love guys who are into sports. And some of these guys aren't even jacked. Like, I think you guys in America, you do like cross country, don't you? Cross running, like long
Yeah.
distance running is quite popular. And the guys that do this, not exactly jacked, they're quite lean, but not muscular. Yet girls love them. Why? Because they're literally dedicated towards their craft. That running means so much to them. And when a girl sees this, a man with a true purpose, she's instantly physically attracted towards him. And of course, being muscular adds on an extra benefit on top. There's one more thing I want to ask you, Aaron, because you are one of probably the most well-known Adonis School member, like ever. Your your how do I describe presence in a daughter school is seen by Hamza, myself, and literally every single brother we have in a daughter school every single day. Can you tell me about just one time that you've helped someone else, especially if you felt like that person, that teenager, that young man, was someone that could be in your position, like how you were, where you didn't really have a purpose. And when you helped them, what do you think was the change in their life?
So I made a very big post about a few weeks ago, and this was during my second longest run, which was 32 kilometers, attempting for the 50K. And like I got like really sore, probably cramped, so I stopped at the time. I went on my computer, I wrote the post, and I made it super detailed about endurance running, long distance running, all the nutrition training benefits, the mindset conditioning you have to have, all the planning. I got it out for everybody. So it's been collecting likes. I think it's got like almost 60 now, which only is the tip of the iceberg
Yeah,
for the amount of guys who've seen that. In the
definitely.
comments, I see it's very engaging. I think I've inspired a lot of guys to like start long distance running. In the comments, I encourage a lot of people to double their mileage,
Yeah.
or even triple it, and they've done it. Like they made a post on that, they tagged me in it, and they're like, "Here, I crushed my PR." So I think that post was very inspiring because it was very raw about my emotions I had and during my long distance runs and all the mindset. I just poured it out on there.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely inspired a lot of guys to double and triple their mileage.
100%, bro. I know which post you're talking about. I read it myself. I think I gave it the best post award as well, just because of how much detail and passion you put into it. And it's incredible because you're 13 and you are literally advising and providing support to guys who are like double your age. I've never seen that before, like ever, not even in real life, which is immense. Because what it shows is it doesn't really matter your age. You could be 13, you could be 30, and yet you could both be going through the exact same struggle at the same time. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like Adonis School is one of the greatest, is the greatest community for young men. Aaron, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. I think it's an absolute pleasure having you in our school.